Good evening. Welcome to the Kent City Council meeting for Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. It is primary election night as well as National Night Out, so we are meeting at 5 p.m. tonight. If everyone could rise and join me for the flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Kim, could you please call the roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mayor Ralph?
Here.
Council President Troutner?
Here.
Councilmember Boyce?
Here.
Councilmember Fincher?
Here.
Councilmember Kaur?
Here.
Councilmember Larmer?
Here.
Councilmember Michaud?
Here.
Councilmember Thomas? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Item number 3 on our agenda this evening is approval of the agenda. Are there any changes from council administration or staff? All right. Seeing none, a motion would be in order to approve the agenda.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the agenda.
So move.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. The agenda stands as published. Item number 4 is public recognition this evening. And this is one of my favorite parts of the first meeting of any month, and it's the recognition of our Employee of the Month. Our city employees get together and nominate their coworkers, whether it be for a special project they've taken on or just the way that they embody the vision, mission, and goals, values of the city of Kent. Tonight, I am honored to announce that Joel Makings is our August Employee of the Month. Joel joined the city as a temporary part-time parking enforcement assistant on July 9th, 1999, and on June 17th, 2002, he became a police officer and has loved his job since day one. Before officially joining the city as an employee, Joel participated in the Explorer program and enjoyed learning about the Kent community and career opportunities in law enforcement. During his time with the city, Joel has served as a member of the Civil Disturbance Unit, a field training officer, an emergency vehicle operation course instructor, rotating detective, and an American Sign Language interpreter for the department. Officer Makings' nominations noted that he has been exemplifying the mission statement of aggressively fighting crime while serving with compassion. That has been shown by his recent life-saving actions at a resident where he gave Narcan to an unresponsive subject when he recognized signs of an overdose. The nomination also stated that Joel doesn't hesitate to assist when asked, and he has a positive attitude every day when he comes to work. Joel continuously embraces our values, and we celebrate him as August Employee of the Month. I also want to talk a little bit about some work that Joel has been doing in our community to make sure that we're addressing food insecurity. So he was on a call, on a shoplifting call up at Grocery Outlet, and was talking to the owner of Grocery Outlet, and they started to have a conversation about, the fact that there are people coming into the store and having to make really hard choices on what they can buy and they can't. And they came up with a great way to donate food to the community, and it's called Battle of the Badges. We've done it now twice. It's a competition between the police department and the fire department. And it's just like a TV game show where they run through the store and how much stuff can they get in their cart. I will tell you, the police department won the first time. We just did this event again last week, and our friends in the fire department won. But at the end of the day, it's the community. They donated over $2,000 worth of groceries to the Kent Food Bank last Friday. So just want to say thank you to Joel, Officer Makings, for truly loving this community and taking care of it and serving with compassion. So congratulations, Officer Makings. I think that's worth it.
So, Madam Mayor, that's one apiece. We don't believe in ties. So
we don't believe in ties. It is already, challenge number 3 is in the making. No pun intended there. And we'll be seeing something probably, we're thinking maybe end of October, first part of November, as we're coming into the holidays. So I have to tell you, James up at Grocery Outlet, an incredible community member, and Officer Makings putting this all together, and it's a lot of fun to watch. There's definitely some pretty healthy competition that goes on at that event. So Councilmember Michaud and Council President Troutner were there as well to watch this time, and it's a lot of fun. All right. The next item on our agenda is reappointments to the Cultural Communities Board. We have quite a few members that are being reappointed this evening. They are the information is listed in your packet, and we'll be asking for confirmation of that reappointment on the consent calendar. The next item on the agenda, under public communications, is community events. I will start really quickly with the fact that you see us all up here in our matching clothing. That is not by coincidence. Tonight is National Night Out, and it's an opportunity for all of our council members, our CAO, city staff from across the city, different departments, and our police department to go out and visit different neighborhoods. So we've got neighborhoods all across the city that are having ice cream socials or barbecues, bouncy houses, you name it. And so each one of us is assigned 3 or 4 neighborhoods to go to. We stop by, visit, get a chance to talk to folks, and it's really an opportunity for neighbors to also get to know each other. So very much looking forward to that this evening. Council President Troutner, do you have any other community events?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to share a few things. As a reminder, we have great summer concerts that will continue throughout mid-August, and those are free to the public. Tomorrow we have Eric Herman and the Puppy Days, which sounds really fun. That is at Morrill Meadows Park, and that's a picnic from 12 to 1. We also have Thursday at the lake, which is at Lake Meridian from 7 to 8:30. And we have Zan Fiscum, who is from Maple Valley. And if you recall, she was one of the top 9 finalists from The Voice last year. So that should be very fun. And then we have, tomorrow evening, we have the Jewel Tones, which is a Motown group. They will be at Kent Station from 6 to 8. And then we also have the Kent Market at Kent Station tomorrow from 4 to 8. So if you get a chance to check out any of these concerts, they really are a lot of fun. And Madam Mayor, that's all I have.
All right.
Clarification, so the Motown, when you say, what time is that?
That is tomorrow at Kent Station from 6 to 8.
Okay.
Councilmember Fincher.
I just have one event. It's on Friday the 6th up at Morrill Meadows Park. There's going to be a big community party. So they will have games like Jenga and dominoes, but they'll also have health screening, or rather dental screenings. They may have health screening. No, they'll have health information. But there's going to be a big to-do. There's going to be basketball, like 3-on-3 co-ed basketball tournament. So lots of good goings on up there this coming Friday, the 6th, from 1 to 7 p.m.
Thank you. Any other community events? Okay, I'm not seeing any other hands raised, so we will move on to item number 5 on our agenda, which is reports from council and staff. Due to the fact that we are looking forward to getting out into the community, I'm going to hold my reports for this evening, and I will turn to Council President Troutner. I am so ready to get out and start visiting neighborhoods. Derek Matheson, our Chief Administrative Officer.
In that case, in the interests of National Night Out, I'll simply note that my report is in the packet and we have no executive session.
Nice. Thank you. Council President.
And Madam Mayor, we will postpone our reports until the August 17th meeting. Thank you.
Okay. With that, we move on to item number 6 on our agenda, which is public hearing. We do not have one this evening. Item number 7 is public comment. The public comment period is the opportunity to speak to the council and mayor on issues that relate to the business of the city of Kent or agenda items council will consider at this meeting. Comments that do not relate to the business of the city of Kent are not permitted. Additionally, the state of Washington prohibits people from using this public comment period to support or oppose a ballot measure or a candidate for office. I do ask, if you come up to speak, that you state your name and city of residence for the record, and we have a timer set for 3 minutes that will be on the screen. With that, Kim, can you call our speakers, please?
The first speaker is Bill McLaughlin, and then TJ Peterson.
Happening is where we live, Meridian Valley Country Club, they're taking a tennis court out. They've already taken the pavement out, and they're going to put a pickleball court there. And I've got pictures in my packet that show it's 30 feet from my property line, it's 70 feet from my back deck. And if any of you are familiar with pickleball, it's very, very loud, very, very noisy. Anyhow, they are in for a permit, and I've noted the permit number. Oh, I'm supposed to say my name. Bill McLaughlin, and I'm from Kent, Washington. They're in for a permit right now for repaving of that tennis court. But they're not going to do a tennis court, they're going to do a pickleball court, and I feel like it's a change of use, and someone at the city should be able to regulate that and say, you guys, we need to have a hearing or do something about it. It's just going to be way too loud. The city of Kent does have a noise control ordinance, and it's 55 decibels is what it is. And in my research, the pickleball court, one court will produce 75 decibels of noise. If 4 courts, it's going to be up more like 85, unless they do some sort of abatement, like put it inside of a building, or I don't know. There's lots of other ways to get around it, I guess, but I don't know what they are. But anyhow, in my attachment number 1, it's from a firm in Tucson, Arizona, and they're noise control firm. And I just wanted to read the one quote. Based on their experience working with pickleball facilities, courts located within 350 feet of a residential structure often require abatement. Courts located within 150 feet require careful abatement designed to avoid complaints. This court is 30 feet from my property line, 70 feet from our deck. And also another quote from that report, for sites that have a water feature or golf course as part of the intervening ground between the courts and homes, or for sites located in a valley, it may be necessary to consider abatement at buffer distances greater than 500 to 600 feet due to additional refraction effects created in these situations. That's their quote. Meridian Valley Country Club does have water features, and if any of you have ever been there, it's in a valley. Well, it looks like my time's running out. Anyhow, there's another quote from a law firm about pickleball courts. I've also attached 3, a picture from our deck, and picture 4, a picture from the parking lot looking up. The picture from our deck, you can see how close that court is. I've talked to the City of Kent Planning Department and the Building Department, and they basically have told me that wait until it's built, and then I'll have to call the non-emergency line of the police department to report excessive noise. I think it would be better to deal with the issue now rather than involve the police department later. And so I'm asking the City Council if there's any way that you can intervene and have some sort of a hearing or something with this pickleball court. Thanks for your time and consideration. I appreciate it.
Councilmember Boyce.
Almost McLaughlin, thank you. I'm very familiar with that area here. So they have the tennis court there, right? I mean, do you hear the your house is probably up on the right-hand side. If I look at the court this way.
I look right down at the tennis court, correct.
So from a tennis court perspective, I mean, do you hear noise when they play tennis out there, number 1? And number 2, the association, I'm assuming they met before they put something in place. So was there any conversation with the association for us?
No.
None at all?
They didn't bother to notify any of us neighbors of what they were doing. And there's probably 10 or 12 of us. In fact, the people that live across the street, we're on kind of the ridge that looks over the country club, and then the street, and then the houses being, they're all concerned too, because that noise travels a long ways. And if I can do too, that's what, when you hit the pickleball, that's exactly what it sounds like. And if you have 16 players, 4 courts, 4 people on each court, it's going to be a nightmare. We built our home 15 years ago there. We've enjoyed it very much, the peace and the quiet. And I don't think they should be allowed to do this without a hearing, and they really should have come to us neighbors first and said, this is what we plan on doing. What do you think? And, anyhow.
Last question, is it a certain time? I mean, they close it, right? So it's going to be throughout the night, or at 8 o'clock it stops, or do you know?
I have no idea. They didn't tell us anything about what they're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks again for letting me talk.
TJ Peterson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council President, for the opportunity. Before I start, the information I got from Kent Reporter, I want to give a shout out to Steve Hunter and the Kent Reporter and our local news. This is something that Maria Cantwell's working on, our junior senator, the most senior junior senator in the country. The Local Journalism Sustainability Act of 2021. Let me read this real quick. At the core, local news is about holding the powerful accountable. The strength of our democracy is based in truth and transparency. And local newspapers are on the ground in our communities asking critical questions, countering misinformation, and telling our stories. We have to protect these vital parts of our communities because once they're gone, they're gone. And if we lose local journalism, boy, it really changes a city. But in Kent Reporter here, this is why I'm here. It's about the tenant protections. Says here, Kent apartment rates increased 2.8% over the last month. We need some tenant protections in the city of Kent, something to level the playing field. The tenants of this city, 70,000 of them, a lot of them, not all, but many of them, are kind of stuck. It's kind of hard to move. Different apartments have different requirements, different deposits, different fees, different background checks. We need consistency in this market to make the market work. I mean, it's obvious here, 2.8% a month. Hold on a second. That was in June. This is July here. 2.6% in July, 8.7% over a year. It's 10%. Brenda Fincher, she understands that for every $100 in rent increase, there's a large number of people that end up back out on the streets. The market's not working. A good friend of mine used this comment when I talked about conflict of interest, and yes, I want to bring that up again. Somebody that rents, me, somebody up there that rents, it's not a conflict of interest if they're talking about this stuff. This is a direct interest to people in our city. Housing, the reason they give you zoning powers, design powers, all these powers to decide who's going to live where, the Growth Management Act, let's go back to Maria Cantwell, 1990. You guys haven't figured out how to build density in downtown in 20, 30 years? I would recommend that you vote, please, council, vote on the King County Tenant Protections Act. I would love to see the vote, up or down. Put it on the mayor's desk. The moratorium on evictions ends in September, and we don't have the infrastructure for the people that may be homeless, and I don't even know what's going to happen. But I want to stand up here and say that if you guys don't work on this, I don't want anybody to say they didn't see it coming. Thank you for your time, council and mayor, and happy night out. And let me give a little grace. I want to give a shout out to Sergeant Buttonshone and Officer Mello. They were in a very dramatic situation Sunday night, handled themselves with grace. I couldn't believe, just attaboys for those two folks. And I know there's many like them on the Kent Police Force, and have a happy night out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, I had one more person signed up to speak through Zoom, but they did not show up. So I have no other people signed up to speak.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Okay, item number 8 on our agenda is the consent calendar. This is a compilation of, this is a compilation of work that the council has done over the last several weeks at Committee of the Whole, presentations, meetings, and discussions, and it has been moved out of Committee of the Whole without controversy. We have items A through G on the consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve?
Madam Mayor, I move to approve consent calendar items A through H.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, we've got the Councilmember Thomas.
Second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. Item number 9 is other business. We have none this evening. And item number 10 is a bid award, South 224th Street Projects Wetland Mitigation and Remediation. Joining us is our Public Works Director, Chad Buren.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I feel like saying good afternoon. It's a little early, but I'm excited to go out this evening as well. We have a bid tonight, 224th Street project. This is wetland mitigation for the 224th project, which went over 167 and then up to the base of the hill, both phase 1 and phase 2. I know we've talked about this in the past. This is a high-tech site, high-tech finishes company here in Kent that owns the site currently. We've purchased the property, and this project is to go through and do some cleanup of cadmium that was deposited there by high-tech, and we're going through in a separate court case actually to get that paid for by high-tech. But this is the project to clean it up and then start the remediation of the site with plantings and wetland mitigation. Wish we had more bidders, but it's getting toward the end of the season, so we did have one bidder. It was below the engineer's estimate, so we're recommending award.
All right, any questions for Chad? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Then a motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor, I move to award the South 224th Street Project's Wetland Mitigation and Remediation Project to OMA Construction, Inc. in the amount of $573,800 and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents subject to final terms and conditions acceptable to the city attorney and public works director.
Second?
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Chad. All right, that brings us down to item number 11, executive session. We do not have one this evening. And item number 12 is adjournment. So we've come to the end of the agenda. Looking forward to getting out into the neighborhoods and visiting with folks. With that, we are adjourned.